A really big part of life is not knowing what comes next or not knowing if you're doing something right. Add this to your career. It's a vibe of not knowing what you're doing, but you're still doing it anyway, you know? Exactly. In today's episode, I want to share a bit more about things that I'm doing to try and know a bit more about what it is that I'm doing in this big unknown. Welcome, my dear listener. Welcome to Redoctoring. My name is Dr. Diane, and this is the podcast to allow you to be a different kind of doctor. If you are new, if this is the first episode that you stumbled upon, thank you so much for being here. And if you are a returning listener, thank you so much for lending me your ears yet again. I do not take this opportunity lightly, and I hope that this episode will provide you with some more insights and inspo and just good vibes. So, as I was saying in the opening, a big part of life is not knowing what you're doing, but you're doing it anyway. It's my personal philosophy. And even to bring it more to home, it's winter right now in South Africa. I don't know what I'm doing in the cold, but we are moving through. So, the same with our careers. Okay. So, I want to share with you 3 resources that I'm engaging with that I think you need to engage with a bit more so that we can all try to stumble forward with a bit more eyesight than we have right now. Okay. So, firstly, I'm a true believer in hearing from success. Like, success leaves clues. So, you need to be finding people and voices that you can listen to, that you can also be like, oh my gosh, this exists, so that you know what to think and dream for yourself. So, with that being said, this podcast is a great platform for that. So, thank you for being here. And I'm learning as you are learning, and we're all learning together, which is great. But now on LinkedIn, which is one of the resources I'll share later on, I found this doctor from the UK. Forgot her name and I did not write it down, but she has a podcast called Medic Footprints. Yes, Medic Footprints. And I've been listening to it, and her episodes are so juicy. I'm just like, I didn't know this is what's happening abroad. So basically, she is a doctor turned industry girl. She helps doctors get into corporate roles. She's that person. Like, you know how online there's a whole bunch of coaches that are telling you, I help you lose 5 kgs in like 6 months, or I help you make $10,000 off of your side hustle. Those people, yes, that is what she is. But she's like a coach slash mentor to other doctors. And it's very Eurocentric, very UK based, but it's so inspiring to hear her share from her students and their stories, and even her herself. Like, what are the trends, the industries that doctors are moving in, consulting, insurance things, corporate. Like, she's even just of that vibe that, you know what, as a doctor, you already have a whole bunch of skills. You just need to properly communicate that. And that is what will land you the high paying corporate gigs. She does not believe in wasting time on, the low entry level jobs. She also believes that, listen, you don't need to do a whole bunch of courses to get where you need to be. She does have a coaching, like I said, she's a coach slash mentor. So she does have a paid offer where it's something in not US dollars, it's something in pounds, like 2,000 pounds. And I translated that to rands, and I was just like, this is a lot. But, for the sake that you have a podcast and an email newsletter, I think it's so dope to just go and just listen, because it's broadening my horizon, it's broadening my eyes. I'm just like, okay, so this is what's happening over there. I can only wonder what's happening in SA, not to compare the two areas, because there's a lot of differences and a lot of reasons as to why we are not progressed like that. But it's a great inspo podcast, and it's a great, like, educational vibe, like, especially if you want to enter into the non-clinical spaces, the corporate spaces, and we still need to be making that bread. Okay, we need to still be making that dough. This is a great resource that I highly encourage you to go listen to. I haven't listened to the whole podcast. I think I've listened to like 5 episodes, and I'm just like, wow, this is so interesting, very intriguing. I'll leave the podcast link in the details down below, and then also her LinkedIn, which is a good segue into the next resource. The next resource that I keep telling you and that you should be engaging with on a regular is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is that girl. She's that girl if you know how to woo and dine her, actually. But in almost every episode, all my guests share about the importance of networking, the importance of branching out, meeting people, because this is how the jobs are being filled. The other day, actually, on LinkedIn, our favorite platform, I learned a few shocking stats about unemployment and employment hiring sector in South Africa. And one of the things that they said is that 70% of jobs are not listed on job boards and whatnot. They are filled by word of mouth or like a reference or like that type of vibe. And that was just so shocking because number one, in an ideal world, every job would be listed. Every job would be advertised. In an ideal world, they would hire the person who is most qualified for the job. In an ideal world, there would be a lot of fairness, but that is not the game that we are playing when it comes to landing jobs. Jobs are landed through word of mouth reference, proximity to people, and that's how the game is played. And instead of wondering and crying as to this is not fair, it's best to just learn how to play and win. Like that is what it is. Of course, I believe in the favor from God. I believe in chance moments and everything like that. But we also have to do the work in order to get to where we want to be. And the work is networking. Like I've said once before, you need to network to increase your net worth. That's just the rule of the game, and we just need to play it well. So now, coming back to LinkedIn, one of the things that I enjoyed doing when I was unemployed last year, and I still do it today, is going to find these people on LinkedIn, right? And you don't just go and message them immediately. You need to study their CV. One thing about LinkedIn is everyone is putting what they've done, where they've been, the skills that they have, and the people who kind of like hype them, or the people who recommend them, or the people who are like, oh my gosh, I worked with this person. They were so good. Oh my gosh, something like that. Yes. So that's what you need to be doing when you look at people's LinkedIns. You need to be studying where they've been. You need to stalk. You need to be like, okay, so you were a medical doctor. Then you went into research. Then you went into clinical medicine again. Then you did a side gig and a stunt at Harvard. Then you came back and already you're formulating these questions in your mind that will help you when you enter into their DMs. I think I'm going to make that into another episode. Actually, I'm inspired about how to reach out to people on LinkedIn. Somebody once told me that they don't know how to cold message people. And that's what it's called when you're messaging somebody randomly. And I've been doing a lot of that because of the podcast and for my own interests. So I think I've become a bit good at it, and I'll share with you my method so that you can steal it and you can apply it to yourself or remix it, change it, take it up a gear and whatnot. But yes, as I'm saying, you need to be studying these people's careers and their moves, and in doing that, you will have some questions that you can use to ask them, which will just be so flattering to them because they'll be like, oh my gosh, this is not just another person asking me how I got into big pharma. They see that I went to Cambridge and I did this random thing and like, oh my gosh, now I just want to put more into them. And basically, you're showing interest. Yes, that's the whole vibe over there. So yes, LinkedIn, we're using her. We are whining and dining her, and we are going to see some moves, okay? Also, be patient. I think another thing with LinkedIn is to be patient. Actually, with this life, we all need to be patient, but especially with the fact that these things take time. They take time, but if you put in the reps, eventually the results will come to you. Thirdly, this might be controversial, but I'm using ChatGPT. I'm talking to Chat actually about my career. There's a lot of conversation online as to what you should tell ChatGPT, what you shouldn't. And I believe don't be telling ChatGPT like relationship drama and people drama because Chat will make you delusional. Okay. There's stories, there's studies that are proving all of this. Yeah. But a healthy way that we can use AI is to be like, yo, so this is where I'm at in my career. This is where I want to go. What courses can I do? How can I prepare for a job interview? How can I do this and that? Like we don't have all the answers, and we don't need to be like, as much as we can hunt for people to give us the answers, AI is there and we might as well use it correctly and safely. Let me give you an example with myself. Something that I have done, I've been like, you know what? Okay, so chat, this is who I am. This is my degree. This is where I'm at now. This is where I want to go. How can we charter a path towards that in the next 12 months or so? Put in whatever number you want over there. And then ChatGPT gave a whole bunch of courses that I could look at, paid, non-paid. The other day I was looking at public health and just the difference between like a master's and the full reg program thing, and then the thingy-mabob that you can do in the UK with, I forgot the scholarship name, but there's a scholarship thing, Bob. And I was just looking, and it was quite interesting how, it can give a lot of information in such a short time. Another thing that I enjoy is with regards to the courses that I was looking at, with the free ones, I got to like say, okay, give me all the pros and cons for all of them, put them in a table, let's compare, and you see everything right in front of you. That's really interesting, and I do I do use that quite a bit. So yes, I think we need to have career plans. And if you want to do something unique, let's find a unique way to do it. I don't know if that makes sense, but ChatGPT can be used in helpful ways, and in strategizing and in navigating a way forward. I believe that this is a good function to put it to use for. One of the things that it told me about was a platform called Coursera. I think that's it. I'll put the link in the description box. But this platform has a whole bunch of free courses. It's like Udemy, but it's not Udemy. And they have courses, they have GCP, which is good clinical practice, which is a basic fundamental that a lot of research and pharmaceutical roles want you to have. There were also some data entry courses that you can do, a lot of things that you can actually do. And you can find that if you're just snooping around, but also you can say, ChatGPT, give me a few good courses over here. I'm doing a few courses actually on Coursera for my professional enlightenment. And I'll share a bit of, maybe one day I can share a few courses that I found that are quite interesting. And also that from the platform and from chat, they say that this is a good mix of things to have to move to the next round. And by next round, I mean next industry. But yes, Udemy, Coursera, these platforms are good to look at. They have free courses, but they also have like subscription things that you can take a look at. I truly believe that we shouldn't be breaking bank beyond what we already can. We already spent a lot in varsity to get our degrees. All these little things on the sides, let's do them affordably. Okay. Okay. Yeah, so that's today's episode. Nice, short, and sweet. If you liked something that I said over here, or you feel like it will resonate with somebody, please do share the episode with them. Please do like, comment, subscribe, give the episode 5 stars if you will. I hope this episode actually just showed you that even if you're not where you want to be, there's still moves that you can make now to further align yourself with where it is that you want to be. I hope and I pray that we all get that dough, the dough that we want in the most aligned way that is made for us. And in the meantime, let's just work and let's do the grind, let's do the grind and we'll get there. Um, so yeah, if you enjoyed this episode, or if you would like me to further elaborate on something, like I said, I'll do the LinkedIn how to reach out to people episode because I think that will be very helpful. But if you want me to expand on any other point, let me know. I'm always keen for ideas. This is a group project of a podcast, remember. Anyway, my name is Dr. Diane, and this is your permission to be a different kind of doctor. Bye.